Hey, this is Cardell, and we are going to try this once again. This is now like the fifth time trying to make this video. The first time I actually did get to post it, but the issue was the solid state drive. Apparently, this game does not like reading and writing to the same solid state drive. It's not an M.2 that I was using. My main actual C drive is just a regular 2.5-inch solid state drive, but I do have an M.2, a 2 terabyte one that I use for development. So I'm recording this to that drive while the game is installed on my other drive. Just so you know what's happening here. All right, so let's talk about performance. So this is after the new patch for Starfield that came out yesterday. I believe it was September 13th. And I've noticed a couple of things. So actually, first off, I will put the specs on the screen of my machine. It is a Ryzen 9 5950X, which is kind of overkill for for gaming, but it's a development computer, so I need the cores for compiling Unreal Engine stuff. But the downside is that I have the minimum spec graphics card, which is a 5700 XT from Sapphire. And I was a little concerned when I started hearing about performance issues and such. And I will show you why on my system, the way that I use it, and my hardware that I actually have no problems at all. So my monitor is just a 1080p 60 hertz display. And I found that I have to have VSync on because even with all the stuff turned off in my settings, like I'm not using FSR, I don't have no film grain, VSync is on, no upscaling, blah blah blah. This is just straight 1080p. I set everything to medium, and then I turned off the shadow quality to its lowest setting because that usually kills stuff anyways, and I hate motion blur. But apart from that, everything is like a default medium. And I found that even with this setup with my computer, I still go over 60 FPS. And the problem is I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. I found that the VSync actually does do a lot of screen tearing when you are in the like outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this, and we're going to try to land on a planet. And let's try this. Now, please don't bug out. I'm having this weird issue where my ship doesn't land on the landing pad for some reason. It's very interesting. Yeah, I did it again. See, it's way over there. Anyways, so this is here. Let me turn off the VSync. So right now we're at 60 FPS, and I will turn off VSync, and so we're at like 67. And what I'll do is I'll start going like this, and it's got some pretty bad screen tearing. Like I can see the edges of this get blocky and split, which is the screen tearing. So I found that even with this machine playing with VSync on, it gets rid of all that. So it actually makes it a lot nicer to play and move around. I actually haven't noticed any issues with frame rate losses or dips or no chunkiness. Like not even like going to let's go to the big city, and we'll show you what it's like here. Because this is like the place that everyone says they have some bad issues, is on New Atlantis. So we'll go in there and we'll see. So we were hitting that 60 FPS on the planet, 57, something like that. And so what we'll see in here is it actually dips a little bit lower. It is a big city and lots of people here. But like 57, 58, 60, I'll walk around a bit. We got 56, 57. So like it's still playable. Definitely play. It's still smooth. So I don't know what the deal is. I know that if I turn FSR on and I do something like 50% render scale, I can get into like high 70s, but it just looks bad. I don't like FSR that much. It's good for like slight upscaling if you want to get a little bit more performance. Let's say you were constantly around like 53 frames per second or something. That was your peak. Turning on FSR might get you into the 60, and then at least you would have the same refresh rate as your monitor. It might be a little better experience, gameplay wise. So I mean that's a good way to use it, and that means that you have underpowered hardware, and then that helps you get more performance out of older hardware. I really despise the idea, which a lot of these games are doing now because of ray tracing and all that, where they're basically relying on DLSS and FSR and all that kind of stuff to give you the frame rates that you should be expecting normally with all the extra graphics. However, nowadays it's like they just want you to flat out play with DLSS. Like look at Cyberpunk. Like they want you to use DLSS to get like 60, 70, 80, 100 frames per second, whatever, at 1080p normal or whatever. It's like I don't know. It's just stupid. I feel it's a cop out for like game developers to design their games that way. I like when we're making our game, because I have an older graphics card that doesn't have DLSS. They have like 4090s and 4080s and stuff like that, and on the other guys on the team, and I basically made it a standard that if I don't get a good gaming experience playing it on a 5700 XT, then they need to fix it and they need to improve stuff and optimize it to make it so that I have a good experience. It's part of the reason why I haven't actually upgraded my graphics card, besides the obvious shortages and prices. But it's a really good metric to when developing, is to try and actually play the game on older hardware. I'm sure at some point I'll have to build a second machine just to do tests on like older hardware, try and get like the base minimum and make sure that it runs properly and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this game, I mean, it seems pretty optimized. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even though I have a better processor than what they expect you to have, my graphics card is a minimum, and I can still get like close to 60 FPS. Like we're like 57, 58 right now, running around town. I don't see that as a bad thing. It's definitely smooth. It's probably not like peak gaming for people who play it like with 120 hertz monitors and 4K or whatever, but it's a definite playable experience. And I don't understand what people are talking about. I mean, you still have the dumbfounded looks in the NPCs sometimes, where it's like this guy's like, huh, and then their eyes like get all weird. Like that's not natural. That's totally not natural. That's fine. But yeah, there's that stuff, and I don't think that has anything to do with the graphics card. That's just the way they did their models. They're not the greatest. It's probably one of those outsourced ones. But anyways, yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to show, is the performance of my hardware with Starfield, and I'm not using any of the special stuff, and it's definitely playable. So I hope this helps someone, and we will see you guys in the next one.